telcos do have tendency, because they see more money here than here. Then you are in trouble. So that is what we want to avoid for the future. So the infrastructure are the same. The only thing is that we are putting fiber optics instead of copper. Right? So that is the difference. That's the way that we want to move into the future. Now, inside the building, inside the particular areas, you have buildings, landed property, high-rise buildings. Inside there is a MDF room, which is normal. And it goes out into the access road, into the main road, it goes to the exchange. Right? Inside the MDF room here, we go to vertical up into the top floor, ground floor, and every one of them is connected using a fiber. So basically there is a fiber connections between each premise through the MDF, goes out into the exchange somewhere. This can be 20 kilometers away. So for service provider, you don't have to build the exchange every 5 kilometers or so. So that is another cost saving process that we achieve. And one of the technology, this is not the only technology that is used today for providing this service, is what we call the optical link terminal at the exchange and optical network units at the premise. And these two are provided by the shared facility provider, because this is to be shared by all the service providers. So what I was saying earlier, instead of putting 4 ways of ducts here, or 8 ways or 12 ways of ducts here, 4 ways is good enough for the foreseeable futures. In this case, inside here, 1 or 2 ways is good enough for the future. So what is the benefits of all of this? If I can summarize in my, I think this is the last slide I have. Fiber optic will support almost unlimited speeds. This is future proof. You're not talking about 10 megabits, you're not talking about 100 megabits, you're talking about terabits. It means 1 million megabits. So that is the kind of bandwidth that you can pass through a single core of fiber. So that is a big, significant cost saving to future-proof our infrastructure. Right? And fiber optic cable, as I said earlier, is cheaper than copper. Right? And we tested with one project that was given to us. The total cost of cabling infrastructure dropped by almost 30% for one housing areas. For a few blocks of high-rise building, about 30% reduction in terms of cost, but in terms of performance, is multifold. Right? So that is a very clear-cut cost saving that we can achieve. So by sharing of facilities, less number of underground ducts will be required. That's also lower cost for developer. It is much easier to provide service by a service provider without investment. Let me go back to this slide just now. What does a service provider need to do? They just need to connect to here, give me the service. They just need to install the CPE, the customer premises equipment, whether it's for TV, for internet, or for whatever. This is specific to that specific provider. While ONU is shared, CPE is per service. So basically, a service provider, whether it's small or big, they need to I'm sure they have connection here already. They just need to put a CPE in the when the customer order the service, they just go to CPE and configure the connections between the CPE and the OLT, and the service is on. So this can be done in a matter of minutes. They don't have to worry about putting any cable, digging any holes, or anything like that. Right? So any service provider out of hundreds of licensed NSP and ASP can do this. Right? So basically, the users will have a lot of choices. Right? Tomorrow, I don't like this service provider, I subscribe to another one. So that will give a real competition. And that competition will push down the price to the end users. So at the end, I think the end user will benefit from this exercise. And that is what our goal should be. The end user is the one who should benefit from all these services finally. So I'm really a pro-competition person. I would like to see more competitions in any service. So I think the initiative that is taken by Penang and GN is a process to bring that competitions and to give more benefits to the end user. So that's what I would like to say today. Of course, we can discuss later if the need arises. Thank you.